Hey, we back with another one, and this is going off our previous video where we made the challenge of streaming 30 days straight, streaming FIFA, that is. And this video here, well, we got it done. For 30 days straight, I streamed FIFA, and I streamed each day for a minimum of 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we got it done, and in this video I just want to tell you all about it, my experience, and also go over some statistics in terms of viewership, followage, the money I made, subscriptions. I'll give you the whole rundown of all that as well. So first off, the experience has been a lot of fun. I did enjoy streaming every day. FIFA was fun to play, surprisingly. I did enjoy it though. One thing about the streams is just coming in and hanging out with the community, hanging out with my viewers, and just having a good time at the end of the day. So that's, to be able to do that every day was a lot of fun. And I've done this once before where I streamed 30 days, and yeah, I felt like the viewership and the followage went up a bit during that time because of just the consistency of just streaming every day. And for me, in this time around, it was more or less the same. I think in some areas I did grow and got some exposure. In other aspects, there wasn't many changes, to be honest. And just the grind of having to stream every day, it does get a bit exhausting, and you do always have to set aside time for it. So it does kind of take up a lot of time, to say the least. But I still managed to do it. Still managed to get in the stream in every day and just hang out and do what I do. And overall, it's just a good experience. You know, I really enjoy my time. We got people rolling in, just supporting us and hanging out with us. So in terms of streaming, there's nothing more enjoyable than that. And although it was a bit of a grind, you know, I can't complain, you know, with just the experience of doing it. And also another thing too is that because in the next couple weeks after this video is posted, I'll be away for a while, so I also wanted to kind of get like the content in before I go away for a couple weeks on vacation. So that's another thing too, where, you know, it kind of compelled me to stream like for this long and this consistent. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is something I would do again, to be honest, just because due to our work schedule, because I did have to really compromise my schedule and really have to stream at times where I usually don't. So but I'm glad I got a chance to do it. It was a good experience, as I mentioned before, and I'll give you guys the breakdown of all the stats for that month and see if it really made a difference in terms of growth or with the numbers and all that. So we'll transition into that. Alright, here we are with my own personal stats, Twitch stats of me streaming FIFA for the whole month for the 30-day challenge. So it says here 31 days. So I went from April 20th to May 20th. So I guess technically I could have gone to the 19th, but I'll calculate it from the 20th. So we could start with our average viewership here. So for the most part, it says here we average 11 viewers per stream. As you can see, it kind of fluctuates here. I think the numbers with the bigger numbers in viewership those days were probably, we had big rates coming through, so that's why the average viewership, you see the outliers here on some of these days. Yeah, so we did have days that surpassed the average viewership of 11. I think on the average though, we usually get under 10, and those are with streams that probably don't have rates. But as you can see here, as I scroll down, it's about under 10, anywhere from 5 to 10. So the thing is too, during the times that I streamed during the 30-day challenge was, it varied. So before this challenge, I actually streamed during the evenings Pacific Standard Time, since I'm living in California, and I would usually stream right after work. But with a new schedule that I had and my new sleeping pattern, I would actually stream before I started work. So I would stream really early in the morning, like around 6 to 9 usually on average. So I think the change in schedule also changed the viewership too, because it brought in a different audience or different viewers. So mostly, like, you know, people in the UK, it was like daytime for them, so a lot of them would show up, or, you know, people in Europe. But usually the Cali guys, people on the West Coast, wouldn't show up as much because it was still really early and they were probably sleeping. But you know, that could have contributed to the change in viewership, because I think I would get a little bit more during the evening streams. So the change in schedule probably is what affected the viewership a little bit, but for the most part, 11 is probably what we average. Even before this 30-day challenge. So there wasn't much change there in terms of viewership. And let's go to the follows. So during the 30 days too is when I got 154 followers. So we did get a lot of followers. So on average for each day, probably averaging 5 follows per stream. And let's see here, 3 follows, 9, 18, 17. So there are those outliers where I would get over 10, but it's very few. And we did have one day we didn't get a follow. All the other ones we did get. So we got like at least a follow every day except the 24th. So the consistency did get me a lot of followers. Obviously, if you're gonna stream a lot more, you're gonna get more followers coming through. And so I started, if we did the math, I ended about at 2473, 74. So I probably had, I was probably at around 2,300, little over 2,300 followers, but we made a jump all the way close to 2.5k followers. I was really close to hitting that milestone. The plan was to try to get there, but we fell a little short. We'll eventually hit it as long as we keep streaming. So but yeah, we did get about 150 followers, so that was a nice flow of following that we got on our channel. So let's move to the subscription. So I think before this I was getting a little bit more, but it really depends. Like we have the outliers where we get a lot of people just dropping a lot of gifted subs. So this was probably one of the slower months in terms of subscription, but if you could look through here, yeah, it varies. I mean, it's not every stream that I would get a subscription here, but every once in a while, every few couple of days, people would just come through and drop the subs, which I really appreciate. And in total, currently we have, well, in this time span, we have 23. So a lot of people dropping in with the Prime paid subs. So It isn't, I don't know if it's really that much for a person with my following, close to 2.5k. I'm sure there's a lot of people that get more than I do, but nonetheless, I'm just grateful for people that are donating to our channel. Really appreciate it. And along with that comes our revenue. So it's close to $60 this month, or that past 30 days. So I think in terms of subscription and revenue, it wasn't really that much more in streaming every day for 30 days. But people do come in with the bits, and obviously there's the ads. To be quite honest, you don't really get too much off the ads, but it is included. Every day you just get cents, get pennies, but hey, you'll take what they give you, I guess. But yeah, a lot of we get some bits in here along with the subscriptions, obviously, that people paid and gifted. So, and on top of this, so technically, instead of like, if we were around the $60, we actually would get 180, because shout out to Mango Warrior, who donated $120 to us, a straight donation, by the way. And usually those straight donations, they don't pop up on the Twitch stats, so, but technically I should have 180 for those 30 days. So shout out to Mango Warrior, man. What a legend and what a supporter of the stream. So yeah, that's the revenue portion. That's probably the part that you guys are most interested in. But let's go to the time streams. So on average, okay, so it says I streamed 6 minutes. Okay, so I think this is what happened in the 24th. So on the 24th, I remember starting the stream at like 11:55. It was really late, but I still got the hour 30 in. I think the goal was to get at least an hour 30 per stream every day. But because this day I started really late. I started the stream on the 24th, but it carried over to midnight in the 25th. So that's where there's a bit, that hour 30 carried on to the 25th here and streamed a little more. So I guess you could say I technically streamed 2 days, but it was to make up for that 24th due to my schedule on that day. But we still got it in. We still got the hour 30 in, so we'll count it. If you guys aren't too technical with it, with the challenge. I think here too is also when I started really late too, probably at around 11 o'clock or 11:15, and then just carried over to the next day. But for the most part, chat, I would get in at least an hour 30. That was the bare minimum that I would have to stream for the 30-day challenge. So you guys can see here, I usually get an hour 30 in to 2 hours on average, and then every once in a while we go a little longer. So in total, chat, I streamed, as you can see here, about 67 hours for the 30-day challenge. So that's about a little over 2 hours per stream every day. So I definitely dedicated 2 hours per stream to get these stats, to get the average viewership, 11, 154 followers, the subscription. So the followers definitely jump up because just due to the fact that you're on a lot constantly. I think in terms of followage, you should see an increase in that. In terms of average viewership, I would say, well, the change in schedule and streaming majority of the streams in the morning in Cali time probably affected the viewership a bit. I don't know how big of a factor that is, but for the most part, it stayed the same. That's pretty much what my average is, even before that. The subscription and the revenue, that seems a little on the low side, I would say. So there wasn't much of a difference in terms of the revenue. You could kind of guess what I'm making per month. But on top of about the $60 that I got was you add the 120 in terms of donation. Usually I don't get donations like that. Majority of people do gift subs and drop bits. So these are it. These are the stats that I get as a guy that gets about little over I'm about to hit 2,500 followers. So as a guy with the following that I have and having streamed for close to 3 years now, these are the stats that I get even streaming now and now doing a 30-day challenge. So I feel like for me personally, in terms of follows, you definitely get a lot more followers. I don't know if it really made a difference in terms of my revenue and the viewership. So that's it, guys. I do think it does help with drawing the more you stream, obviously, the more of a chance people are gonna notice you and want to follow to you. Now, in terms of donations, bits, and money and viewership, I guess that would depend. I would feel like if you were to stream at a consistent schedule every day and people know like what time you're gonna stream every day, then I think that would help a lot in terms of viewership, in terms of revenue and subs. I mean, maybe adding a lot of challenges or subathons, things like that could definitely help. But I'm sure there are a lot more better ideas out there that haven't come to mind and that I haven't said yet. But yeah, I think the more you stream, the more exposure the more you stream, the more of exposure that you're gonna get. So these are my stats. I hope this was informative for you guys, kind of give some insight for a smaller FIFA streamer like me trying to stream every day for a month does. So again, I appreciate you guys supporting us and supporting me on my streams and my content. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gifted subs and the donation and just hanging out with us and following us. And if you do enjoy this video, please drop a like and sub to the YouTube channel if you like content like this. And hopefully, this insight could be helpful and some of you guys that are looking to stream in the future, or if you guys are just curious on how much streamers make. So till then, guys, I will see you guys on the stream or the YouTube or until the next video pops up. But till then, I will see you guys later. Peace.